Hey, what's up YouTube fam? This is SpringRae and I am back with another video. Lots to talk about today. So many different things going on in the world, isn't it wonderful? I thought I'd touch on the Dahmer film or series on Netflix, as well as talk about Netflix a little bit, the company. And then we also apparently here in the Carolinas area have a hurricane that it's on its way possibly to our area. So lots to talk about. As you can tell, I got some green in my video today because I don't really like just having watch the difference here. Take this out. Kind of a bland scenery, and my shirt today kind of blends in with the wall. What are you doing? So let's invite this green back into our lives, and we're gonna just put it in the corner here. This is one of my little babies, my plant mom. It's called a lemon surprise, in case you were wondering, and it's from tropical Africa, part of the Darkania dermensis plant family. So I'm just going to let it sit there to add some greenery while I talk. So, alright, the Dahmer Netflix series, that's not the full name. I kind of shortened it because I can't remember the full name. But where should I start with that? I'll start with the negatives first. Negatives always end with a positive. So negatives, what I will say is that, and I kind of touched on this a little bit in my other video when I talked about the Bling Ring video or documentary that came to Netflix, how the perpetrators, those who committed the crime, were able to actually talk about it in like this, what came out as like a comedic documentary. They're talking about stealing, and yet they can sit there and laugh about it, whereas a lot of brown, black, and all in between people can't do that. They don't have the opportunity, the privilege to do that. So like I said in my other video, I immediately stopped watching it because of that. It was triggering. I would say the same thing a little bit, not as much, but because this series was darker, and it wasn't a comedic film. And just if you're wondering, it's called Monster: The Jeffrey Dahmer Story. So that's the full name on Netflix. I just called it Dahmer because that's his last name. But from this film, I got, again, the sense that, after all that he did, and it's triggering for other reasons, I'll get to those as well. But like one of the main things that stuck out to me that related to the bling ring is, again, he was able to give his say of the events and how he was feeling when he committed all these murders. And it's just triggering as a black person to sit there and hear that coming from a white man. And what's interesting, I'm trying to think, I don't know why, I feel like it's more from white men than even white women that you get to hear these awful things that they've done, and you get that, I'll take, I don't know, I do feel like it's more white men than white women, but somebody go look at the statistics, because I don't know about that one. But white people in general get to tell their story no matter what type of crime they commit. If you look back at, I don't want to go all back through time, but like the white boy, this is a popular example, it's been used numerous times, I'm going to use it again. The white boy that shot up the black church, I believe they were, the church, they were having Bible study, correct me if I'm wrong, but He just walked in and shot up a whole, those who were there in the church. And, when the police arrested him, he didn't go to jail. They took him to eat. After he killed people. I don't care if it was even him assaulting one person. He should have went to jail. You don't take somebody to eat after they've committed an offense. He killed people. So, same thing with Jeffrey Dahmer. He, even though he was arrested, he was asked all these questions about his mental state. And, people were trying to get, why did he do this? He got to stay alive to tell his part. How many Black people who have committed crimes have had that chance? We're not even going to go into the Black people that were innocent. But how many Black people that committed crimes are given the chance to say what they need to say, explain their motives, have a documentary where they get to sit down and talk about their motives? Rarely happens. Case in point, if you go on Netflix after watching this, go and sometimes I do my own little experiments when I turn on Netflix, because I'm all about diversity. So I'm just like, okay, let me see how many shows that I see are trending that are showing diversity, or how many new shows are popping up, and I'll just try and see is there diversity in what we are given to choose from, or what is presented to us? Because Netflix has shows that not everything is presented to you when you turn on Netflix. Some stuff you have to hunt for, or you will not know it's on the platform. So I just sometimes tell myself, okay, I do my due diligence to say, okay, I'm not just going to watch based off of what is always trending, because then you tend to see what is being pushed by society. So I said, and I'm going to do this too, go back and look to see what documentaries are out there. And when I say documentaries, the crime documentaries, and see how many are Black people being interviewed about their motivation. I have seen a good amount of white people give their side of the story that have been convicted or are in jail waiting for their court date, blah, blah, blah. So that was one of the things that I was triggered by on the Netflix show. Some of the other things, again, what the cops were doing, it's a shame. And I mean, it still goes on, I'm sure, today. I feel like it might be a little bit more hidden today, but I say that, but honestly, no, I don't. It's not. It's still blatant. How the cops in the series were not checking into Glenda, the neighbor, how she was reporting what was going on. Was it Glenda Cleveland, I believe? She was reporting what was happening right next door in the other apartment that Jeffrey Dahmer was in, and the police did not believe her. I thought it was good they included the actual phone call, the real phone call she made to report an actual murder was taking place. Well, I think that one was right before Jeffrey killed the youngest, one of the youngest. He may have been the youngest. I saw at the end there was another 14-year-old that he did kill. But, oops, YouTube, don't block me for saying that. Sorry. But anyway, it was a phone call where she was reporting him taking the 14-year-old back into his apartment, and she was just telling the police hey, he looks like he is not of age, he is young, and they just excused it and did not follow up at all. And to see at the end when both of those police officers were welcomed back into their department after being put on leave, and then they were honored for their work, it was disgusting. So that was also triggering for me to watch that. It was appalling to see, and I don't know if this was like exaggeration of the show, but how they showed the parallel between the police being rewarded for their lack of work and regular day citizens being rewarded at this podunk like ceremony compared to the police's fancy dinner, and then the regular citizens are just sitting in what looks like a little community meeting space. That was just, it's awful. And then at the very end, where they say that the park was never created to honor all those victims, was very sad. I'm glad that they, that's one of the positives with them coming out with the film. I keep calling it a film series. It lets you know about these victims. I wish that we could get more about the victims, though, and their story, because what these series do, it places more emphasis on what the bad guy does in their life than what these good people deserve. Like, and I guess I'm mixing my positives with negatives now. Ryan Murphy and whoever else helped him with the film, because I saw his name and somebody else's name was on this, they both did a wonderful job, like, with the filming of this series. Evan Peters, he always does an amazing job. I feel like he always gives his best effort at whatever character he's playing. I have not seen him in anything that was not good. Niecy Nash, amazing. You did amazing, Niecy Nash. And she did so well in this, I might consider watching her other show on Hulu. I think she's like a FBI agent. It's on Hulu. Might check that out. Because before this role she was in, the last thing I saw her in was Claws, and Claws was a little much for me. I don't know. It kind of fell off after a while. I stopped watching it. So, but she did really well in this too. So the acting was amazing by pretty much everyone that was in there. All the characters did an amazing job. I mean, all the actors did an amazing job in their parts. But again, it's to the standpoint of where we continue to almost celebrate and consume all the stuff that these bad people did, and we talk about them more than we talk about the victims. So it's like it's hard, because it's just like, they're like, well, if you do something about the victims, there's not going to be anything interesting to talk about. But at the same time, we're keeping alive like this crazy evil man's story. And I mean, he killed people and ate them. So it's like, I watched it, but it's like kind of a love-hate thing. Even while I was watching it, I was just like, I'm giving a lot of my time to someone who killed other people. I don't know if other people felt that way. That's kind of how I did. And I do get torn, because, everybody likes their like murder mystery type stuff, like Clue and what is it called? Knives Out. Like, I like those type of shows. But, this is, Knives Out is not based off of something real. I don't believe. It's fictional. This is like this is a real case. So, yeah, I just feel like we kind of have to get more stories where you can talk about the evil person, but do it in a way where you're not giving them the power. You give the victims the power. You tell the victim's story. I think the best example of that, actually within the series, was when they did Tony's story, the guy who was deaf. We learn more about his background, I think, than any of the other victims. So I just, it made me feel for Tony. I felt more of a connection because I had more of his background. I felt like I was sitting down when they showed his family. I was sitting down with his family while they were having lunch or dinner or whatever meal they were eating. That's what I feel like they should have shown more of, in my opinion, because then you get more of a sense of who the victim was and less of the killer. Again, we saw the I forget, the 14-year-old, his family, glimpses here and there throughout the film, and how they were a little bit about how they were processing their emotions, but I would have loved to hear more, from his brother that had first almost been attacked by Dahmer. We didn't get that. We only got his brother kind of looking menacing in the camera a couple of times. Like, he never even said anything. It was the oldest son, I guess, that spoke up in court. But, so that was a little annoying. I would have liked to hear more from him. And, yeah. So, that was a couple of other things that, so anyway, all in all, it was a good film. Great acting. I just feel like we have to, because then it also went on to glorify. That's the word I was looking for. It almost went on to glorify that other guy that Netflix had already done a documentary on, John Wayne Gacy. Netflix had already done, and I don't know if Ryan Murphy came out with this before. Maybe he came out with this idea before, in the whole storyline, before Netflix came out with the John Wayne Gacy documentary. I remember watching that. Maybe it hasn't even been a year since I watched it. Somebody let me know when that came out. Can't remember. But in Ryan Murphy's this series for Dahmer, it talks about John Wayne Gacy. Like, it comes up in there. And so I just feel like we talk too much about these killers, and at the end of the day, they kill people. I don't care whatever reason there is, still killed somebody, killed another person. That's all I need to know. You kill somebody, I don't want nothing to do with you. Alright, unless it's self-defense. But in these guys' cases, it wasn't, clearly. So, yeah. So I hope we get away from, glorifying the killers and more honoring of the victims. So, I think that was all about that. Did I name all the great actors? Evan Peters, Niecy Nash, she was, again, standout role. Oh, the last bit on that, yeah, I'll end because I've talked a lot about it. The one episode that stood out to me was Niecy Nash's episode, because it was the one where she was trying to convince the police that, like, something is going on next door. And she excuse me. Sorry. So the whole episode, I saw the episode was titled Cassandra, and I was like, did they mess up? Did Netflix mess up? Did Ryan Murphy mess up? I was just like, no, her name is supposed to be Gloria. Y'all, I forgot already. Is it Gloria Cleveland? How did I I'm sorry, Glenda Cleveland. Glenda, right? Glenda Cleveland. Yes. Glenda Cleveland. So I was just like, the whole episode, I said, Okay, so her name is, I did get her name right. It is Glenda Cleveland. Why is this called Cassandra? And so, of course, I go to my trendy search engine, Twitter, not Google, Twitter. And I'm looking online to see, is it just me? Did I miss a complete storyline or something? Finally, I find somebody else who's posted the same thing. They're like, why is this episode called Cassandra? And someone else had posted that it's from Greek mythology. So, in case you didn't know, oh wait, hold on. Yeah. So, Cassandra is, I'm trying to look it up, y'all. Bear with me. Lord, it's going to take me forever to find it. But anyway, it's connected to the episode, I promise. Okay, so it's saying that in a sense, Glenda is the Cassandra in the episode. Cassandra, after the prophetic figure from Greek mythology, doomed to see the future without anyone ever listening to her about it. So that is why. So basically, it's showing that Glenda, even though she knows what's going on, she can't convince the police to do anything about it, which is very sad. And if they would have acted earlier, so many more people would have been alive. So that is very sad. All right, enough about that. Check it out if you want to. If not, I will say though, it is kind of it's dark. So if you get scared watching dark stuff, you might want to watch it with somebody or watch it during the daytime. Okay. Other topic, Netflix. Netflix, y'all, it's got its own issues. Again, it's been canceling a lot of great shows, continuing a lot of not so great shows, in my opinion, and some shows that are quite controversial when they even first started because they were pushed, I feel like, illegally. Emily in Paris. But anyway, which is on its third season. I have not. I give shows chances. I watched the first episode and I wasn't impressed. Not at all. It was cringe for me to watch it. And then I found out that what's her name was producing it and she was in it. I was just like, what in the world? Like, so yeah, I couldn't get into that. But and my laptop just interrupted me by cutting off. I need to get a new one. This ain't gonna work. Alright, so I was talking about Netflix. So Netflix is not everyone's best friend. I mentioned it in the last video. I'm not going to repeat what I just said because I'm annoyed by my computer. But just wanted to talk about Netflix and how it's going downhill quite fast. Don't know if it's going to last, y'all, within the next couple of years. Because it said that Disney Plus has just outnumbered them as far as like not outnumbered, that's not the right word, surpassed them with the number of viewers, or not viewers, subscribers. So Disney is like taking, I think Disney is getting a lot of their their business, because the other thing that I think of now is Disney doesn't have commercials. Disney Plus, do they? I don't know. I usually just watch movies on Disney Plus, so I don't really know about TV series, anything like that. And so Netflix, though, part of their issue is just capitalism. That's going to be their downfall, because Netflix has long been the main ones. Like Hulu exists, all these other platforms exist, but Netflix has been the main one to be like, oh, we're going to crack down on password sharing and account sharing. And I'm just like, you don't. In saying that, you're saying that you want to charge as many people as possible, and you're not considering like the family unit. So, for example, it makes no sense if you have two families, two relatives living close to one another, to have separate accounts. Imagine you want to do a family get together, right? And you want to watch a show together as a family, like a whole family. Netflix is saying, well, you're in a different location, so therefore you need to have another account at that location, or you got to sign in on your account over at your family member's house. Like, no, that makes no sense at all. So to me, it's like they're losing the family unit out of that, because again, you have families that are close. Now, families that are not close, like one family lives in one state, another family lives all the way across on the other side of the country. I still feel like Netflix is being capitalistic, but they have to consider like families that are local to one another. It makes no sense for them to have two accounts. It doesn't. Netflix is just trying to make money off of everyone. So there's that. Then there's, again, the cancellation of shows that are doing well, and all of a sudden they're just getting canceled for no reason. And I don't know about like as far as like race goes. I don't know. But as far as like LGBTQ, I know I've heard there's been a lot of talk about some of those shows just kind of disappearing, and no good reason being given, because like the viewership is coming in, views are coming in, and yet they're not being renewed. Why? Don't know. Netflix knows though. So yeah, Netflix can do better. There was another. What else was Netflix doing? I know a lot of people who watch anime were upset because Netflix, the way they were putting animes out in like the like they were putting them out in like binge style, so like you'd have to watch everything all at one time in order to not have anything spoiled, whereas a lot of original anime fans were used to more of a one episode a week. That way everyone can kind of reflect, just like what they're doing, with House of the Dragon on HBO. You have your one episode for the week. That gives everyone enough time to watch the episode before somebody ruins it. So, well, I shouldn't say that. It gives everyone a chance to watch the episode before like the whole series is ruined, right? So like how Netflix had anime set up, it was kind of just everything is all out there, so like there's just no build up. And so I know a lot of people were kind of upset with that. I know that I will be gone from Netflix if they end up pulling a YouTube. YouTube, the free version right now, is trash. I hate YouTube now because of all these ads. Can't do anything. Oops, sorry YouTube, I forgot. I'm about to upload this video on your platform. But your ads suck. They don't make me want to buy the products, like, at all. At all. I cannot hit that skip ad fast enough. So I don't know who it's working for. For me, it makes me less want to get the products. I don't know. Maybe it's working for some people though. But and that's the other thing. I don't even feel like the ads are catering to what my interests are. So I don't know what. I think the algorithm or something is off. Instagram always gets it right. Instagram, like, ads always catch my attention. YouTube, I don't know what's going on. YouTube, your ads are like horrible. I can't stand them. Please stop sending me stuff about Kohl's. I don't want to buy any clothes from Kohl's right now. I really don't. Or Wells Fargo. I don't want to give any of my money to Wells Fargo right now. Okay. So, back to Netflix. Netflix, what can Netflix do in order to stay in business? They can actually care about their customer. They can stop charging extra fees. or going up, because like they're saying they're about to charge even more. If Netflix becomes like $20 a month, I'll probably lose my account after that. I'll probably just go read a book and save my coins, because those months, that racks up fast. That's why I got out of cable. When cable was still a thing and they didn't want to honor being loyal customers anymore, that was the first thing to go out of my expenses. I called them. They were just like, yeah, we're charging you an extra like $100. I said, for what? I didn't get any new services, did I? No, ma'am, but your internet and your use of services is going up. I said, what's changing? They were like, nothing. And I was like, but I'm a loyal customer. They were like, we don't do loyalty programs anymore. So I said, you know what? Just cancel my cable. And I mean, the only thing I have to have is internet. So yeah. And then they raised my internet bill. Like, that went up like $20 for no changes at all. So they're getting around. These companies will get your coins. They will find a way. I don't know if you noticed, and I'm going to get off my tangent and talk about Hurricane Ian. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of bills now, they have all these processing fees. And when I call and ask, what are these fees for? They'll have like a processing fee, and then they'll have a service fee. And I'm like, well, wait, ain't that the same thing? And they'll be like, no, those are different. But then they can't tell me what they're used for. But you know what? I feel like things kind of balance out for me, because one thing I don't do with any bill, I don't pay late fees. And if you are paying late fees, SpringRae is going to help you out. Don't pay late fees. Now, I'm not talking about if your bill is like a month, 2 months late, but like 10 days, 5 days, reasonable amount of time, because we're human, right? We're not robots. Call and just say, I'm not paying the late fee. You would be surprised by how many companies are not going to make you pay it. They're willing to take your money if you're willing to just give it away. I'm not willing to give away my coins. So that was my tip for the day. Oh my gosh, y'all, my computer will not let me be great. This is the third time. Okay, I'm going to try and get this out. Last thing, Hurricane Ian is on its way to the Carolinas. I was saying that it was supposed to be on its way first to Florida. It's almost there. And I was saying, if it stops by DeSantis' house and gives him a nice hello. But, yeah, it's supposed to come to the Carolinas, where I'm at the end of course, it's going to hit here on the weekend, boo. And I'm torn because, of course, I have like several different events that may be taking place that nobody has canceled, and I'm hoping that they'll cancel them so I can just lay low while this thing passes through. But of course, nobody is called to cancel. One is a birthday party out in the park. And forecasts right now is like 100% rain, or well, for most of the weekend, and then on Sunday it's like 70%, but still no cancellation, so I don't know what to do. I'll still get them a gift, I guess. And then there's like a housewarming for one of my family members, but no cancellation on that either, so we'll see. But as far as the storm goes, I have prepared. How have you prepared, SpringRae? I have prepared by buying bottled water before the shelves have gone clear. Because let me tell you, here in North Carolina, when there's like any type of severe weather threat, people buy up. What I see goes first is water. Bread and milk, they're usually still at the store. I can find that. But water, something about water. Well, I guess we do need it to live, yeah, and do most things throughout the day. But, but yeah, I went ahead and got me another. I had just been to the grocery store last week, and then all of a sudden they were like, Ann's on its way to your town. And I was like, great. So I bought another case of 24 case of water. I'm not a hoarder. I wasn't going to be one of those people, so I just bought one more case. So now I have about 40, let's just say like 42 bottles of water right now. So, big stretch. So yeah, so how else have I prepared? That's it. That's all the preparation I've done. I was also out and I was about to buy batteries, and then inflation kicked in my mind. And when I looked at the battery prices for like a pack, 4-pack of double A's, costing me like $13. I was like, that don't sound right for a 4-pack of batteries. $13. So I was just like, you know what? I'll scrounge around this house of mine and see if I can find some like laying around. And if push comes to shove, I will take them out of what I don't need and put them into what I do need at the time. So yeah, I'll make it work. So I left the batteries in the store. So yeah, all I have right now are waters. I don't know what else I need to really do to prepare. I guess I'll get my flashlight and I don't know what else. Oh, like I guess a weather thing, a weather tracker. My dad has a nice one of those at his house, but I don't have one that like gives you like minute updates on like the storm and everything and makes all these noises and stuff. Honestly, it's a little annoying, but it gives you great detail, so you always know, you know, which direction things are coming from. But yeah, I have seen some footage in Florida where the water level is starting to rise. They've seen some flooding there, but so far it's been sunny days here, the calm before the storm, you know. So yeah, what else can I say about Hurricane Ian? How did we get all the way to Ian? How did we get all the way to Ian? Anybody know? I feel like we jumped to Ian very fast. Am I not doing that? I thought we would go follow the alphabet for the beginning of the season, right? Not based off of last year. Don't we start over each year, or is that wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I'm going to end here because my mommy's calling. Thanks for watching. Bye.